Fall 1983. Hallandale, Florida would be the birthplace for one of the most influential, talented, well-rounded athletes to come out of the area. Born November 22nd, Davin Joseph would later take the city by storm through athletics and his philanthropic works.
Really, I didn't ever see myself being in the NFL. I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to be as an adult. And so you can say I probably wanted to be a police officer or a firefighter. I never really had a desire to play football until I met Coach Pearson.
I had just conducted my first team meeting as being the head football coach at Hallandale, and I ran up to him and I said, why weren't you at my meeting? He said, what meeting? And I said, I had a meeting today. And he replied to me and he said, well, Coach, I don't go to Hallandale, I'm in middle school. And my jaw dropped. It was obvious. He was a big kid, big athletic kid, and being an 8th grader, being that big and physically had physical prowess to him that way, I knew he would develop into a great football player.
He told me to come out one day and just try out. Just come out and work out. And if I liked it, stay. If I don't, go. And so first day, of course, it was hard, but he tried to make it okay to be hard, you know, and it is. Football's not easy. But the next day, I really didn't have anything to do. So I ended up going back the next day to work out, the next day. And that was the summer before my freshman year in high school. And so started going because I really didn't have much else to do and really fell in love with it.
Little did Davin know he would soon be taking on another sport at Hallandale High. And little did his coaches know he would become a rising star in both.
Davin was about 300 pounds in 9th grade, and I knew wrestling would take some of that off him and give him mobility and he'll learn how to finish plays.
Coach Pearson told me that it would be my best friend one day.
The new head coach came in and said, I have an athlete that I want to have wrestle this year. And he introduced me to Davin. Davin at that time was about 6 foot, about 320 pounds. And I went over and talked to him, and I was very impressed first time I met him. He said, have you ever wrestled before? No. I said, it'd be a good idea to come out to wrestle to be a better football player.
I got into wrestling, and I was horrible. And horrible isn't the word. I was terrible.
However, Davin was on the road to succeeding.
He lost. When he came back, he said, Dad, this is the last time somebody gonna beat me.
When the match was over, the first thing he said after the match is, Coach, I'm never gonna lose again. And for the next 2 years, he never lost again, winning 2 state titles and a national title.
I do it all.
It wasn't surprising to me because whatever he set his mind to do, he would do it.
It was always a challenge of getting better and always a challenge of being consistent.
He took the football like a fish take the water.
During Davin's last few years at Hallandale High, he grew as a person and as an athlete, citing his hometown for most of his drive.
To our community, that was the bigger picture. It really meant something to Hallandale to have a good football team. And my senior year, we really were a good football team.
And then it was time for the next challenge in Davin's life. February 8th, 2002, National Signing Day. The time had come for Davin to move on from Hallandale High School, and he signed with Oklahoma, becoming a Sooner.
It was sad to see him go away, but it was special for all of us.
And I'm so happy that I was able just to be a part of his life that short of time.
My biggest challenge is being a good parent.
He had champ once he was in college, and it was tough for him.
He has to be, kind of the mom and the dad.
I want to be the perfect dad, but of course I'm not. I'm not going to be perfect. I want to be there for my kids and everything they go through, but it's hard.